Well, we're back in the book, the Gospel of Mark, Kata Markon. The Bible was written in Greek and Hebrew. The Hebrew Old Testament, up until we get a few of the prophets, Daniel, through there, and then part of it is in the Chaldee, which is very close to Hebrew. Matter of fact, the Hebrew Chaldee Bibles, or lexicons, most of them say Hebrew Chaldee. One right here. This is Gesenius. As you can look up there at his Hebrew Chaldee. So if you know Hebrew, you know some Chaldee also. Sometimes words are opposite meanings there. But, and my students have wanted me to do some Greek because they don't get to hear it otherwise. You're not going to go any place on the internet where they teach the Greek and the Bible in Greek and in Hebrew like I do. I don't believe. I haven't found one yet. They'll refer to it. They'll do things. They'll teach classes in it. But as far as teaching the Bible from it and preaching from it, they don't. I remember a long time ago, remember that pastor that resigned and was retired, and in my class there at Valley Baptist Church, we were in the main auditorium upstairs in one of the classes, and he came to my class. And I taught the first class. Of course, there was a couple of Greeks that came to my class out of L.A. Remember that? One of them was a teacher at UCLA. And he came up there and he said, you ought to be teaching at Senior Sinai in New York. He said, you're the best Greek teacher I ever heard in my life. He said, I'm from Greece. He said, you know more about Greek than we do. You know, like that. But Greek is very important because the New Testament is written in Greek. The language of the Bible, every translation is a translation of the Bible. It is not the Bible. It's a translation. All translations are flawed to some extent, except for my translation. And I'm not saying that to be proud or anything, or it just, I translate it like it says. Simple as that. And I tell you, if that word is not in the original language, it's not in most of the manuscripts, you can use a, here's a Greek Bible. This is Greek, not English. There isn't any English in translation in it at all. Now, after you look at this, down at the bottom of the page, and it's all written in Greek. See, you have to know Greek to do this. Some of the history books that I read, you have to know Greek and Latin and German and English and Hebrew before you can even read the book, all of it. Well, anyway, these footnotes here tells you all about the Griffith Greek manuscript. This is called an apparatus. This tells you the history of manuscripts. We have a better Bible today than we've ever had since Paul and Matthew and Mark and Luke and John wrote it. We're in Mark, and we're in the 14th chapter, verse number
1436.
1436. By the way, if you're out there, if you want a copy of this in e-book form, and you want to follow us along, I will send you a PDF form and you can open it up. So we're here now in the 14th chapter at verse number 36. And in a solid Greek Bible, this is what it looks like. Right there. And you look at the bottom and you see an apparatus. And you look cross-references over there in the columns. Now some of these books, some of these Bibles like this, I have just written all the pieces because I've used them so much. This one I haven't quite used as much as the others. Now let's lay that down there for now. I've got one textbook up there that I've used a tremendous amount. I don't know where it is. I had to recover it. Maybe down here someplace. The butt cover fell off of it, so I had to put elk skin on it. And it's someplace up there. Let's start reading this. We're going to read it in Greek, and then we're going to translate it into English. And I want to tell you about it. Someplace around here I have an Amplified Bible also. Right here. And we're in Mark 14. So I'll refer to that in just a little bit. You can read along with me with this. Chi. Marilyn always knows what chi is. Chi, page 208. It is a conjunction and it also a particle affirmation. And you can look on page 208 in the Analytical Greek Lexicon, which I have up here someplace also. I have one that's covered in, but there it is also, right there, on page 208. And I'll show this to you also here, somewhere. That I'm really telling you that I've memorized a lot of these pages because I've done it so many times. On page 208, and there it is, right down there. In the Analytical Greek Lexicon. I'll read to you what it says. That's the first word, see, in the sentence. Chi. Now, in Hebrew, that's wa. And in Hebrew, they put it on the front of the word. We ha'aretz. And ha, we and ha, the eretz, earth, and the earth. Now here is chi, conjunction, and chi, it can mean both, that's a cumulative particle, both, and it also can mean also, and you'll see me translated like that. It can mean two, T-O-O. It can mean even, or it can be like a particle of affirmation, even or also in Matthew 10 and 30, 1 Corinthians 2:10. It's an adversative conjunction, but strong adversative conjunction sometimes like Allah also. And it also an introduction of the apodosis of the sentence in James 2 and 4 and Galatians 3:28. Now that may be a little bit deep for you, but I'm just introducing you to that, like people like Donald Grewar over there in Wales, Donald, that a lot of times he writes notes to me, little words, and he'll write it in Greek. And I'm supposed to read this, see, which I can. Have you everybody wrote notes to you in Greek? I used to write notes to you in Greek.
Mm-hmm.
Then I Maryland, yeah, and you can read it too. Yeah. Yeah. Kai and Elegain, Abba, Ho, Pater, Panta, Dinata, Sui, Paraneke, To, Poterion, Tuto, Ap, Imu, Alla, which comes from Allah, U, T, Ego, Thilo, Allah. T-C. Let's look at this. Now Jesus is he's praying. Jesus is praying. He's in great distress. He is horribly in distress. Now in one of the translations it says that he sweat great drops of blood. But really it didn't say that. But there is a medical term for all of that. But this is when it was happening right here. But it actually does not say that in all the original language. It was put down sometime later. And he kept on saying Father. Now the word here, Father, that's Aramaic or Hebrew. Abba. It comes from Abba. Abba. You can say Abba, can't you? Abba. Abba. Now, Larry, when you're a little girl, was born, you remember the first time she ever called you daddy? Huh?
No.
You don't remember the first time they ever called you daddy? That should have lit up your day.
Well, yeah.
Dada, dada.
Yeah.
Well, Abba is like dada. Now, in the Hebrew language, they said the first thing a child would say was his father's name, Abba. So he called for daddy, Abba. That's where the term comes from, Abba. And he kept on saying Abba. He said this a lot. He said, Father, 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 Father. Father, Father, Father. He kept on saying the Father, Abba the Father, Ho Pater. And then he says it Ho. That's a definite article, not with a singular masculine, definite article there, Ho. And then Pater. Now in Greek, even the definite articles are declined. You know what they are, what part of speech you are. Right here is nominative singular masculine. And it's definite article. God is not a thing. He is masculine. We know that from Hebrew and from Greek. Now today they want to say that God is an it. We don't want to call him a man or a woman or else she or whatever. But the Bible says without doubt that he's masculine. He's father. He couldn't be your father if he wasn't masculine, could he? He'd be your mother. But he said father. And he kept on saying Father, the Father. Panta, that's an adjective, and it means all things is dinata. All things are possible. The word dinata there, our word dynamite comes from that word. Dynamis. Dynamite. Dynamite is powerful, disabled. You know, they used to have to break up rocks and things, like when they were mining. But then they become to the point where they could drill. I've got a drill still out there. I think you've seen it, Larry. It's about that tall, and it came out of the Tonopah mines, and it's got a flat spade-looking point on it. And they would drive that thing with a pneumatic air hammer, and drill, and they put dynamite in there. And you light that dynamite, and dynamite is extremely explosive. That's where our word dynamite came from, right there. Dynamite. All things are possible to you. That to you, that's dative singular, second person pronoun. All things are possible to you. And then paraneke, and it says, second person singular, second aorist, imperative active. And this is a command, and it comes from para and pharaoh. This word does para means beside, and pharaoh means to bear. It says, please remove. You remove or carry away the cup. To poterion. The cup. Now, not long before this, just the same night that this happened, Jesus was with his disciples, with his church, in the upper room, and he instituted the Lord's Supper. And this is before the day of Pentecost, by the way. The Lord's church had baptism and Lord's Supper before the day of Pentecost. They also had a treasurer, and they also had a clerk too. They also had missionaries before the day of Pentecost. Father, all things are possible to you. Please remove the cup. Now Jesus, these disciples had just had the Lord's Supper with them. He turned the Passover into the Lord's Supper. The Passover was a family thing with Israel. Every family was supposed to get a lamb. They were supposed to confess their sins, and the lamb died for their sins. His throat was cut, and they ate this lamb. They ate this lamb at this supper. And they had bitter herbs. They had different things in there. They had glasses of wine. Ganamatas tesos amplu or else oinos, either one. Ganamatas tes amplu means the fruit of the vine, which means grape juice. But grape juice doesn't stay grape juice very long. It becomes oinos. That means wine. That's got alcohol in it. He took the wine and he said, this cup represents my blood. It is the testament. It is the validity of the New Testament. I am signing this New Testament in my blood. And this cup here, he said, please remove this cup from me. The cup, this, tuto, little demonstrative, accusative, singular, neuter, demonstrative pronoun there, tuto. Then we come from the word apo there. Apo is shortened because we got a vowel afterwards, onimu. And we put a vowel on the front of imu because it's mu. But now we put a mu on it. It would be apo mu, but we have apo imu. And it means it sounds good. Sounds better. Euphony. Take this cup away from me. Apo. That's a preposition, page 40 in the Analytical Greek Lexicon. Now we have the word imu, and which is lengthened before euphony. And that is the cup away from me. And this is oblative. Oblative. Singular. First person pronoun. Remove it away from me. Now we have this Allah. Now we said, remember a while ago we talked about Allah? Now Allah is A-L-L-A, or alpha, lima, lima, alpha. And it's a strong adversative conjunction, page 15. This here means but. Now, he says something and then but. He turns around and remembers his what we might call his purpose in this world. Jesus didn't come here to be born and to have a family. He didn't come here to procreate, even though evidently women were interested in him. They don't Mary and Martha both, and some of the others. Of course, if you're a Mormon, you think that he married them and had children by him. And that's what the Da Vinci Code. Remember that movie, Da Vinci Code? He didn't do that. I didn't come here to get married. I didn't come here to enjoy life, to amass any fortune or anything. I came in here to pour myself out, become very poor. He became poor that we might become rich in him. But, strong adversative conjunction, not, ook, is what that one comes from. That one's shortened, also shortened, and that's on page 294. But not what, a little interrogative pronominal adjective there, what, I, first person, nominative singular, first person pronoun, ego. We get our word ego out of that, ego. What is a person that's got a big ego?
Boastful.
Boastful. Big ego. Okay, big ego. That's where the word ego comes from, is from this Greek word here. What I wish, first person singular, present indicative active, word thelo there. Thelo, that means your spiritual activating force, how you feel inside. Not what I wish. That comes from thelo. See, it's thelo, first person singular, present indicative active. Not what I wish, but, strong adversative conjunction, page 15 again. But, on the next page here, get the pages separated. What you. Now say what you. That again, a little interrogative pronominal adjective there. What you. What you may wish. Not what I wish, but what you may wish. Now it doesn't say you may wish there, but we know that's what it says because it goes right straight back up. That's nominative singular second person pronoun. What you wish. And then in verse number 1437. Kai.
Kai.
Erketai.
Kai.
Kai. Heuriske.
Alto.
Yes. Altos. Ka. Thu. Dontos.
Kai.
Kai. Lege. To. Petro. Simon. Kathudes, Uk, Iskusos, Mion, Horon, Gregorese. Let's go back now and look at this one. Here we have this word conjunction, page 208 again. And he comes. Third person singular, present, indicative, middle, for himself. It means this was of his own. He comes for his own self. He moves himself over there. It comes from erchomai, by the way. And that conjunction again. Here we have a sentence right there. And he comes. There's a sentence right there. And then we have another sentence tied together with another kind. And he finds. Third person singular, present, indicative, active. That comes from heurisco. What English name do you think comes from that?
Which?
Heurisco. What English name comes from that? Down here in the next little valley, just south of Fish Lake Valley, is a place called Eureka Valley. Eureka, California, Eureka, Nevada, whatever it is, it comes from that Greek word right there. Heurisco. And it means I found it. And he comes and he finds them. Autos, that's accusative, singular, or accusative, plural, masculine, that is. Accusative, plural, masculine, third person pronoun. He found them. He finds them. And guess what they're doing? They're called kathudontos. And that comes from kathudo, and it means they're sleeping. They're sleeping. And this is a present participle active. They're doing it, they just keep on sleeping. This is the participle. It's one of them continuing things. They've been sleeping. He told them to watch, and he said, and they're sleeping. I come on and they're sleeping. Accusative, plural, masculine, present participle active, they're sleeping. And a conjunction again. Here we start another sentence. All reality, run together. And he says, third person singular, present, indicative, active, that word legay. How do you conjugate legay? Lego, legace, legay, legomen, legeti, legusi, legain. That's first person, second person, third person singular, first person, second person, third person plural, and legain is the infinitive at the end of that. Now when you learn Greek, like it says up here, third person singular, present, indicative, middle, and over here we got third person, present, indicative, active, you have to learn all those endings. And oase, omenudies, ediusiane, and etc. Because every vowel or verb like that has got endings. Every noun, even the definite articles, will tell you what part of speech they play in. This is the most perfect language that's ever been created. And God put His word in it. And He says, dative singular masculine, to, definite article, Petro. Petro. Who do you think that is?
Peter.
That's Peter. What does Petros mean?
Little stone.
A little stone or a little rock. Okay. What does Petra mean?
Big rock.
Big rock. Big like a mountain. Like the rock of Gibraltar. Like Jesus. He was the rock that the church was built upon, not the little stone, Peter. And then he says to him, Peter. And then he uses another name for him. Simon. What does Simon mean? Shema. The Hebrews call us Shema. This is a Hebrew name, by the way. This is his old name. Now he's called Peter, he's called Cephas, and he's called Simon. Cephas is Aramaic. Hebrew is Simon. Peter has been called, or will be called, by all three of his names. Petros, Simon, and Cephas. Peter, Greek. Simon, Hebrew. Cephas, Aramaic. And he said to him, Peter, Peter, Simon. Simon. Simon, what does that mean? What does Simon mean? Shema. Shema. Hear, O Israel. Shema. Hear. One who hears. One who listens.
Oh, here.
Yeah, Simon. One who hears, one who listens. Now he's called by his own name here. Simon, you sleep. Kathudes. Second person, singular, present, indicative, active. You sleep. Go on sleeping. Do you sleep? Not. You keep on sleeping, you're wanting to sleep, you want to do this. Peter wanted to sleep, he was tired. You know, when I'm going down the road sometimes, I'm really tired. I don't get to sleep. And sometimes, Marilyn, when I'm going down the road, I'll pull off the side of the road and sleep for 15 minutes one way.
Yeah.
Because I'm tired. Well, Peter was tired here, and he was asleep because he wanted to go to sleep. It tells you that he wanted to go to sleep. And then we have the word, we have got a little adverb of negation here. Ook, 294. Ook.
Ook.
Not, you are strong enough. Second person singular, first aorist, indicative active from iskuo. Not, you are strong enough. One, meon means one. That's accusative, singular, feminine. It comes from haste, by the way. 1 hour. Horon. Our word hour comes from this word. It starts with this, see that omega in front of that? That's got a rough breather on it. Horon. Not 1 hour to watch. Gregorese. The word Gregory, the word Gregory means to watch. It means to be a lookout. Gregory means to be a lookout. And it comes from this word here. And its word here is first aorist, infinitive active. To watch. First aorist is real punctiliar action. That means right knife blade action. He said, can't you watch just for a moment? A second? 38 now. Gregorete. Kai. Proseuchiste. Look at that one, remember? Hina. Me. Elthete. Ace. Perosmon. To man. Numa. Prothemon. He. De. Sarx. Astenes. It starts out with this word here, Gregory. And it's second person plural, present imperative active from Gregorio. You be alert, you watch. You do it. It's imperative, you do it. This is imperative, Peter, you watch. You do this now, Peter. You watch, and that little conjunction there, remember the word conjunction. But right here, it could be also. You watch also. Also, you pray. You all pray. Ye all pray. Ye watch, second person plural. He's talking to Peter, but all of them are hearing him. And he tells all of them, you watch, you guys watch. And also, you pray. Second plural present, imperative, middle voice. Middle voice, you pray. Do this from your soul, from your heart. Proseuchomai, that's where it comes from. Hina, that little conjunction there. Hina, in order that, and now we have a particle of negation here. That's on page 268. May. In Hebrew we have this also. We have verbs and particle. This is the particle of negation, and not. In order that, not, ye may come. That comes from erchomai. Ye may come. Second person plural. Second aorist, subjunctive active. That's the subjunctive both there. Watch. Pay attention that you might not come into temptation. Unto, that little ace there, extension of limitation of thought of verbal action, page 119. Unto temptation. The word temptation here comes from peresmos, pterosmos. You might come to temptation. The word means to put to the proof. Somebody give you a silver coin or a gold coin, and if you really want to, there are ways to test it, see how much it is 100% pure, 99.9% or whatever. But the real way to do it is to melt it, completely melt it, make it liquid. And then on the top of that will come the dross. He said, you're going to be assayed here. You're going to be tested. The word means to trial, to try. Temptation. And then it says to, that's a nominative singular neuter down in the article, to, indeed, a little particle of distinguishing one clause from the other, indeed, or truly, a spirit. The spirit, your spirits are willing. They are prepared. Nominative singular neuter. Your spirit is ready. And moreover the flesh, he, they, sarx. He, definite article in the front, but the definite article should be in front of the sarx in our minds. But this is the way it is grammatically. Moreover, weak advertency conjunction particle, page 85. Flesh is without strength. Your flesh is without strength. I remember a long time ago. See, I'm old, so I can remember a long time ago. At least while I still got my marbles. The church that I was pastoring is New Hope Missionary Baptist Church. They asked me to preach all night on New Year's. Can you imagine that, Larry? They wanted me to preach all night. They said, we know you can do it. And they voted to have me preach the New Year in. I was going to preach all night long. Well, I preached down at the seminary 4 hours in a row. I preached there for sometimes 2 or 3 hours. And they figured I could do this real easy. But you know, some of them that voted for me, they fell asleep on me. You know that? Those guys fell asleep on me. They're sitting there snoring in those pews because they fell asleep. The flesh is weak. The flesh is not strong enough. It's without strength. They wanted to do this. They wanted to do this really bad. That word ostenia, ostenes, nominative singular feminine, it's on page 55 in Analytical Greek Lexicon. The flesh is weak. A lot of times the flesh is weak. You want to do something sometime and you just can't do it. I remember, Marilyn, when you used to run around doing something all the time, you used to be able to pick up 100 pounds real easy. Did you know that? You could just do it. But you know what? As you got older, you got where you couldn't do that. I remember when we first came up here 10 years ago, you were out here helping me lift barrels full of trash and all kinds of stuff, weren't you? You helped me lift out these filing cabinets, the refrigerator, freezers, everything else. You were out there on one side and I was on the other. You were strong. Now you can't do that anymore. 1439 now. Can you start that one off, Marilyn? Kai. Paulin. Apelthon. Pros. Exato. Tone. Auton. Lagon. Apon. Now, tone, auton, lagon, apon is not in the oldest manuscripts. It's in some of the later Greek manuscripts, but we know it's not in the older one. And if you look over here, it tells you what time it even came into being. And I don't have it marked in here. See if I can find it here real quick. Possibly. We have it over here. Let's see what I can find. Well, I have to have another magnifying glass for this one. It says it came in, and that part of that sentence came in 700 A.D. That's a little bit late, isn't it? A little bit late. First time it's found in 700 A.D. according to this apparatus here. And it tells you that in the apparatus down below. So you can figure this all out. You can do this, Donald Grewire over there in Wales. I know you're going to be listening to this class. See if I can put a marker in there. I can find one. Maybe. Find my way back. Go on here a little bit further now, and then we'll. This is our last verse for today. Kai Paulina Pelthon Prosu Kasato Ton Auton Lagon Apon. That word Kai there, conjunction, page 208. And it could be, you can put this as also in here. Also, again. Adverb, back again. Also, back again. Having gone away. Second aorist, participle active, nominative, singular, masculine, having gone away. And it comes from apo and erkamai. Having gone away, he prayed. He prayed. Third person singular, first aorist, indicative, middle voice. Aorist. He paid punctiliar action, and it was from his heart, from his soul. And then this brackets here, and the same word having said. Now, it doesn't say that, but we understand that I'm sure that he prayed the same prayer that he prayed before. The beautiful Greek that makes everything stand out. You see the action of it. You see the words that he's using. It didn't use them by accident, just by throwing them in there. There was a purpose of them. The purpose of Abba and Ho Pater, Abba the Father. The first words that a child speaks, according to the Hebrews, is his father's, to call for his father, Abba, Abba. Abba, Abba. Daddy, Daddy. Jesus is going through the trials of the cross right here. Jesus stood as a lamb slain from before the foundation of the earth. Out here in eternity past, Jesus felt the cross and nails in his hands. But now he's going to be there, and this body that he's carrying around is going to feel it. So it's getting real personal now. Real personal. And Jesus' body felt pain. It felt hunger. It felt being tired, cold, hot, all of that. Now, God could not understand mankind until he became like man. So God became like man. Kai hologos sarxaganopho, as you quoted a while ago in Greek, Maryland. And the Word, or Jehovah, became flesh and dwelt among us, and we beheld the glory of the Father, full of grace and full of truth. But he became our kinsman redeemer, and he became the one that could feel our weaknesses here. Our Father, we send this message out for your honor and glory. Please use it wherever it goes. Thank you for your word. Thank you for the beauty of it. In Jesus' name we pray.